Murder case out in Idaho, as you know. The whole country's been talking about it. In fact, it's kind of getting worldwide attention. New details came out yesterday in the University of Idaho murders as the suspect appeared in the courtroom in Idaho for the first time.
Newly unsealed documents outline how police were able to track 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger down. The documents also show Kohberger's movements before the murders and the night of. Police say his phone was pinged at least a dozen times before the murders, seemed like a month or so in advance.
For months.
And all but one were late night or early in the morning. Another shocking detail released yesterday. One surviving roommate says she actually saw him in their house, allegedly, minutes after the killings. So I want to bring in retired FBI agent and director of Wilmington University's Criminal Justice Institute, Scott Duffey, to get your opinion on this, because since this happened, everyone's wanting to know what went on in that house, and this is the most information we've had publicly since it happened. So 19 pages. What were your thoughts when you read the affidavit?
So just like everyone else, I was poring over the affidavit. 19 pages. Amazing work that went in by as the investigator from Moscow PD, talking about this is a partnership with the Idaho State Police and the FBI and other agencies. Amazing facts that are put in to get a charging document.
So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I don't think this guy knew that there were so many surveillance cameras all over the place. He didn't seem to be worried. He was more worried about his phone than surveillance cameras like at the murder scene.
Yeah, so from reading into the affidavit that this individual had applied for an internship with the local police department.
The Pullman, Washington Police Department.
Yeah, let's pull it up. There's a specific part, and we have it just since you're referencing it, Scott, where he says that he applied in the fall of 2022, and he wrote in his essay that he had an interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data. And he also posted a Reddit survey when the survey asked for participants to provide information to, quote, understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making while committing a crime.
Which is amazing. And he specifically requests in this internship with this police department, hey, I'm a student at the local university, and I really have an interest in this technology and law enforcement and the whole analytical work that goes in behind it for rural police departments. And so there is reference in the affidavit about the phone possibly turned off, airplane mode,
right,
to allude, as he seems to be well aware of cellular technology. But I absolutely agree, he does not give account that there are many surveillance video, ring cameras,
That's where they saw the white car, right?
All over the place.
And that seems to be what really started everything, or got, as far as pinpointing him. Now,
Yes.
Also, when we're talking about the fact that he was a PhD student in criminology, he wanted to work at the police department, isn't it interesting that he left the knife sheath at the scene? Do you think that that was by accident, or maybe he wanted to be caught eventually?
It would make sense to me that it would be an accident, that this, if this is a well-planned murder, and the fact that they have him or have that car in the area as early as June, July, August, in the summer months, in the realm of 12 or 13 times, whether or not he is there at a party, whether or not he is just there doing total surveillance. And there is absolutely, in the affidavit, there is no connection, no evidence that's put forth with regards to him having any connection with the victims or the house.
But he was hanging out around their place, like you said, for 6 months before he killed him.
Yes.
And then he runs. I didn't realize that one of the roommates opens the door and he's walking by her. But he doesn't stop and kill her. He keeps moving.
And why do you think that is?
That is amazing. And the fact that he has, according to the affidavit, he's covered from the nose below, but that the eyebrows, the eyes,
are bushy.
The fact that the color of his skin, he knows he's identified.
But this roommate then goes back into her room, right? And doesn't call police for, not that I'm shaming her or anything. I don't know what the hell. And who knows what condition she was in physically. But doesn't call the police for a long time.
This is a big question that law enforcement has probably already answered, but is not providing into the facts of the case. This is 19 pages of facts that law enforcement needed to identify and in my belief, quickly charge and remove this person from the community.
Do you think now with this 19 pages, with all the evidence they've been building up and the interviews, do you think that he will admit to the crime?
Oh, that's a big question. That's a question I can't answer. However, if all the facts bear that this has been a planned crime for many, many months, I can't imagine that this person would plea out as opposed to wanting this to remain in the foresight.
Right. And it's so interesting because even with all these details, we're learning so many answers to the questions that we've had since we learned about these murders, but it still doesn't say why. Why them? You know, was there a connection? Even though we know he was there for months before, why was he so fixated on this house? It's,
yeah,
will we ever know, you think?
Yeah.
The motive remains with him.
Right.
And the police have theories. They have their speculation, and it's not in the affidavit.
Well, they're so tight-lipped, which is great. You know, people were begging them for information and calling them the Keystone Cops. I guess anything but the Keystone Cops.
Yeah,
They did a good job.
they absolutely did a phenomenal job.
Have a good weekend, Scott.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank
Thank you.